Can you tell I love this recipe? It's so good. Hi everyone, I'm Meredith Abbott, Culinary Director for Sur La Table, and welcome to On the Table. Today I am making a classic shrimp and grits. This comforting, southern-inspired dish is the perfect combination of tender shrimp, smoky bacon, and cheesy grits. I'm bringing my water to a simmer. I've got a little over 4 cups of water to my 1 cup of grits. The 4-to-1 ratio is pretty typical when cooking grits or polenta, but always make sure you check your package instructions. While I'm waiting for this to come to a proper boil, I'll go ahead and season my water with salt, and I'll add in my butter, let that melt, and stream in my grits. While I stream in, I'm going to whisk consistently, and this will help prevent lumps. The grits will absorb a lot of water. That's why it's 1 cup of grits to 4 cups of water. So it's going to look really kind of soupy to start, but as this cooks, it'll absorb and it'll get nice and thick. So stir this to get it started. Let it come back up to a boil. Make sure you get into those corners with your whisk to make sure nothing has stuck in there. All right, now that this is at a simmer, I'm going to reduce the heat to low. And now I'm going to let these cook for 45 to 60 minutes, checking them on occasion to stir. And now I'm going to get started on the shrimp. All right, it's shrimp time. So I've got a large stainless steel skillet. While it's heating, I'm going to add my bacon. This will start rendering out some of that fat, which is what I want. We're gonna cook the shrimp in the fat of the bacon. So it's okay to add the bacon in while the pan is still a little cool. Let that start cooking. I'm leaving the tails on my shrimp, which is pretty traditional to do. If you want to cook your shrimp shell on, you can. All right. You'll see some recipes don't use bacon at all. I happen to really love this version of it. I think it adds a really nice depth, and it balances really nicely with the sweetness of the shrimp. All right, you can see that my bacon is rendering or releasing the fat. It's starting to brown and crisp. So this is looking good. Some of the pieces that have more meat are getting really nice and like amber in color. And now this is when I'm going to add my shrimp. Get that last one in there. Switch to tongs now and spread my shrimp out as well as I can into a nice even layer. And we're just gonna cook on the first side until it is bright pink and it kind of starts to curl up into that C shape. We don't want to overcook the shrimp at all because we're gonna remove it, build the rest of the sauce with the mushrooms and the aromatics, then we're going to add it back in to warm it up. So just until they're pink and opaque. Give it a flip. The smell is amazing. Shrimp cooks really fast. All it takes is a minute or 2 on each side. Now I'm gonna use a slotted spoon because I wanna keep as much of that rendered fat in my skillet. I'm gonna go ahead and just turn the heat off while I do this step. I'm gonna scoop up the shrimp and the bacon and transfer it to a clean bowl. I'm not gonna just pour it because I want the fat from the bacon to remain in this skillet. Now I'm going to add, as if this wasn't rich enough, a few tablespoons of butter into my pan. Turn the heat back on, let the butter melt, and then we're gonna add in our mushrooms. In go the mushrooms. Give these a nice stir to coat completely with the butter and all of the fat from the bacon. And we're going to cook these until they release all of their natural liquids and then they start to brown and crisp themselves. All right, and now that my mushrooms are starting to get a little brown, I'm going to add in the rest of my aromatics, which are shallots, which at the grocery store, those just look like those small little red onions. They have a nice mild oniony flavor. Get those stirred in, and now some chopped garlic. Get that stirred in. I always add my garlic towards the end of a cooking process. Because it has a lot of natural sugars, it has a tendency to burn. So that's why I didn't put it in the beginning when I first added my mushrooms. Give this a nice stir. Now a pinch of salt, pinch of pepper, that a stir. And now I'm going to add in some liquids to the pan. You'll see the bottom of my pan, there's a lot of brown bits. That's called fond. That is just a culmination of flavors. So I've got some wine. And now taking a wooden spoon, scrape. That's going to evaporate. It's also going to concentrate the flavors of that wine. And it does double duty. Concentrates the flavors and helps release all of those yummy browned bits, or the fond, or fond of fond, from the bottom of the pan. And now, adding our other liquid, which is some broth, shrimp broth, homemade or store-bought, or chicken or vegetable, whatever you like. Give this a scrape, get all of those yummy browned bits from the bottom, the side. Wooden spoons are perfect for this because they will scrape up just the food. They won't scratch your cookware. They are a perfect tool for getting the fond off the bottom of your skillets. There's a few more things I need to add to this mixture. A few dashes of Tabasco. You can use your favorite hot sauce, but Tabasco is pretty traditional. You can always add more Tabasco later if you want to bump up that spice level. I have some bay leaves, smoked paprika, or if you have a Cajun style spice that you like, you can add that. Now give this a stir. This is going to simmer and bubble away for about 10 minutes while all these flavors meld together. All right, we're in the home stretch. My grits are cooked, but now I need to finish them. Oh, look at that. A little bit of bubbles there, creamy, no lumps. That is what you are looking for. Perfect. To this, I'm going to add in butter, cheese. It looks like a lot of cheese, but these are cheesy grits. Give that a whisk, and that will melt right in, like so. I happen to personally love cheesy grits. I've always asked for them for my birthday dinners since I was a child. Okay, now adjust for seasoning, but before I do so, I'm gonna start with a little pinch of salt, just because I know it's gonna need a little bit of help with that, and with some pepper and Tabasco. So I'm gonna start with a few dashes, and you can put your favorite hot sauce on the table and add as much or as little as you'd like. We're gonna taste and adjust for seasoning. Clean tasting spoon. It's gonna be hot. Actually, I'm quite happy with the salt level. I'm gonna turn the heat off underneath it. That is just gonna hang out while I finish my shrimp. Okay, my sauce has been simmering. It's well reduced. Now I'm going to finish it by adding butter. The butter is going to add some richness to this. It's also going to help the sauce cling to the shrimp. While I'm waiting for that to melt, I'm gonna take the bay leaves out. They have done their job. They have imparted their flavor into the sauce. So give that butter a stir. Let it melt into that sauce. The butter will kind of loosen the sauce a little bit, and then it'll turn really nice and velvety smooth. This is a very classic French thing to do. It's that French influence down in Southern cuisine. And we're going to add a little bit of lemon juice to now brighten those flavors. And just go right through my fingertips. Stir that in. And before I add my shrimp and bacon back to it, I'm going to taste and adjust the seasoning. That butter is so rich. Okay, and while my sauce is still hot, I'm going to add all of my shrimp and bacon back in. Now I'm just going to stir the shrimp with the sauce to coat it and to rewarm it. And there we go. Everything is now ready to be served. Yum. Oh my gosh. Turn the heat off. I'm gonna grab my serving bowl. I'm gonna get my grits first. This might be my favorite part. I love grits so much, I'm going to sing about them. I love a good kind of shallow bowl for this dish. There we go. Nice spoonful. I'll give myself a little bit more because I really love grits. Like so. And on top, I'm gonna make sure I get a few shrimp and some of that sauce with some of the bacon. Give myself a few more. I'm so excited. Garnish with a little bit of parsley for color and to add some nice freshness. Cannot wait to get a little taste for the grits. I'm gonna get a mushroom in here. This dish is flavor-packed with cheesy grits, sweet, tender shrimp, smoky bacon, and a super savory sauce. I really hope you enjoy this as much as I do.